This week we'll get the finale for the first season of Drag Race Philippines Slaysian Royale, aka we'll get the end of the greatest thing from the Philippines since Jaja Zatorna. I know I've been going through the US seasons in order, but this is the first time I've really been working on this channel that a season I've been watching has had a finale. So I'm doing this season out of order. If you have a problem with that, ignore it. Just like how people in the predominantly Catholic countries ignore Catholicism's status as a force of colonialism. As you have probably all figured out, rather than giving a contestant an amount of points for things like winning a challenge or losing, I give points based on how many queens a particular competitor defeated. So if a queen is a solo winner in a cast of 8, they get a minimax of 7. If they were in the worst of that episode, they get 0 and 0. Since most of this season is lip sync for your legacy, the bottom two usually have maxes of 1 and mins of 0, and so on and so forth. Here's the wiki's data. Here's my data. Note the potential row is back because of that damn lip sync episode. Episode 1 had the pageant. Madame Yoko and Something Wong were in the bottom two with maxes of 1 and mins of 0. Madame Yoko was eliminated for the crime of being Belgian. Kiana won the top two with a min and max of 11. Cyan Pussy followed with a min and max of 10. Brigading, Arizona Brandy, and Kitty Space were high in the 9-7 range. Everyone else was in the 6-2 range. Episode 2 was the Girl Group Challenge, which I'm pretty sure the bars that have Drag Race viewing parties love because those challenges are a compelling argument for hard liquor. Ivory Glaze and Something Wong were in the bottom two with a 1-0 range. Yuha followed with a min and max of 2. Venus Swan with a min and max of 10. Arizona lost the top two lip sync, giving her a min and max of 9. Brigading followed with 8 and 8. Everyone else was in the 7-3 range. Episode 3 was the Unconventional Materials Challenge, and probably one of the best of this challenge format. The judges put Ivory Glaze's outfit in the bottom, even though at its worst it was just Helena Poison's vagina. Speaking of Ivory Glaze, she was doomed due to no longer having a Belgian queen or Something Wong as cannon fodder. She and Arizona ended up in the bottom two with scores in the 1-0 range. Venus won the top two lip sync with a min and max of 9. And she probably regretted not eliminating Arizona based on the rest of the season. Kitty Space lost said lip sync with a min and max of 8. Cyan was low with a min and max of 2. Everyone else was in the 7-3 range. Episode 4 was a tolerable rusical. Arizona redeemed herself with a min and max of 8. Brigadine got 7-7. Kitty, Space, and Bernie were in the bottom with the 1-0 range. Cyan was low with the 2-2 range. Everyone else was 6-3. Episode 5 was the episode that I think proved the point of international seasons. No other franchise could have made a makeover challenge based on Philippine overseas foreign workers. This also brought international attention to the social problems with this practice. Many countries rely on workers from the Philippines, while the Philippines experiences a loss of skilled labor and families are torn apart. I'm glad Drag Race was talking about this, but I think other media should step up to Drag Race's level regarding that. Even though the queens competed in duos plus a makeover partner, I've treated them as individuals in this episode since the top two lip sync was individual. Speaking of, this unintentional Renaissance painting happened because of this episode. This is the first true successor to the one from Venus from US Season 3. Brigading won with 7-7, Suki was second place with 6-6, Arizona and Bernie, the ones playing patty cake on the left, were 1-0, and the shocked and entertained onlookers on the right were in the 5-2 range. Episode 6 proved what people of proper taste already know. Yuhua is a flawless goddess. We got a reimagining of Snatch Game, and unlike many Snatch Games and their reimaginings, we had queens who actually tried to win instead of survive. Yuhua won with a min and max of 6. Venus and Brigading were in the 5-4 range, as they made top 3 but didn't win. Siam and Kiana were in the bottom in the 1-0 range, and Arizona and Suki were in the 3-2 range. But the real loser was Venus, who ruined her reputation by accusing Siam of witchcraft. Episode 7 was the lip sync tournament, and given that it was where Yuhua was robbed, it could have been the point that sank the season. This was the Katya elimination of Slaysian Royale. The scores here are divided by lip sync round. If someone won with a lip sync of 2 queens, they had a min, max, and potential of 1. If they had lost such a lip sync, then it was 0. If there was no such lip sync, the potential was 0. The 3-way lip sync had a potential of 2. Episode 8 was the DragCon challenge, and Yuha would have obliterated this. Kiana was eliminated with a minimax of 0. Venus defeated her with a minimax of 1. Arizona and Suki were in the 4-3 range. Brigading was in the middle in 2-2. Episode 9 was another girl group challenge because this season blew the budget with the Rusical. Suki and Venus were in the 1-0 range due to the double Shantae. Brigading won with a minimax of 3. Arizona followed with a minimax of 2. I'm recording this prior to the airing of the season finale, so I'm going to try to predict the outcome based on track records. Usually, if a season comes down to a few queens, the queen with the worst score isn't going to win. There are exceptions, such as Holland Season 2, but that's a general pattern. If it comes down to Brigading versus Suki and or Arizona, I think Brigading will win. Venus might beat Brigading, but it's unlikely if it comes down to the two of them. Arizona or Suki could theoretically beat Venus, but it's unlikely. Arizona's scores are a sub-range of Suki, so I really can't make a prediction for that. So I'm predicting Brigading or Venus, more likely Brigading if Brigading is included, but I still want Yuhua to win. If you enjoyed or endured this video, like, comment, subscribe to Yuha's channel, ring the bell.